A boy was eating when he suddenly bit into a tooth. He realized it wasn't his own tooth, but when he checked his bowl again, he discovered there was an eye inside. He was shocked and told others about the eye in his bowl. The students were terrified when they heard the news. Soon, many others discovered similar things in their meal trays. Police detectives quickly arrived to inspect the kitchen. From the bone fragments pulled out of the iron pot, they could confirm the victim was male. Based on the degree of bone deterioration, he appeared to be a middle-aged man in his 50s, definitely not a student from the school. Looking at the pile of bone fragments that had been extracted, the investigators determined the ingredients likely came from canned food. Sure enough, at the canning factory, they found piles of bone fragments. They poured all recent batches of canned goods from the factory onto examination tables and picked out the crushed bone pieces one by one. At this point, a careful investigator made an even more startling discovery. There was a surgical incision mark on the victim's skull. Only a few doctors could perform such precise surgery. Based on these characteristics, they eventually identified the victim as a chemist and food scientist. Following this lead, they went to the victim's workplace. When an employee heard about the man's death, she actually knew he had died at the canning factory. It turned out the woman had an excellent sense of smell. She not only detected the canned food odor on the bone fragments, but also smelled disinfectant. Combining their identities and purposes, she understood the man had died at the canning factory. Strangely, this batch of canned goods contained significantly more spices than previous batches. The production line was generally automated, and spice quantities were pre-allocated, so this batch couldn't have been over-seasoned by accident. Could the killer have deliberately added extra spices to mask the taste of human flesh? They quickly questioned the factory manager, who revealed he had invited the victim to serve as a factory consultant, with all authority in the victim's hands. They discovered threatening emails sent to the victim's computer. The man who sent the emails was soon brought to the interrogation room. He claimed the victim frequently delayed delivery schedules, and in anger, he had sent those threatening messages. The medical examiner found a penetrating wound on the inner edge of the